Hello everyone, welcome to Noodle Journey. We're going to continue our 12 days of Marutai by seeing what's in Santa's mailbox today. Aha! On today's menu is Marutai's Oita Torigara Shoyu flavor. Let's dive into this. So a lot of Marutai's flavors are regional tonkatsu specialties, but we've only seen one of those so far because the present unwrapping has been completely random. So this is a little bit different from that once again. This is another chicken broth ramen, but with a shoyu twist. So shoyu, as you might know from my other reviews, is a soy sauce-based broth. The official product description says that this style of shoyu from Oita is based off the original shoyu style invented in Tokyo in 1910, and it combines premium soy sauce with chicken bone soup, bonito, yuzu, and kelp to create this unique flavor. You might know from my other reviews that sometimes I find shoyu to be a little boring unless I'm in the mood, but this sounds like a really interesting take on it. As with Marutai's other flavors, you can get this on Yamibuy, sometimes on sale, or Mecca Japan, or you might see this around on Amazon, anywhere in the $4 to $8 price range. Remember that there are 2 servings in here, so the price proportion is pretty good. Check your nearest Asian grocery store too. I've seen people on Reddit say that they find this stuff at H Mart all the time. The salt equivalent for this is 5,660 milligrams, which converts to around 2,228 milligrams of sodium, so be warned, it is pretty high. Let's open it up. So we've got 2 bundles of our nice looking 3-minute noodles, 2 soup packets, liquid, and 2 powdered yuzu packets. Despite being a chicken-based broth, this does contain both chicken and pork oil in it, along with the other stuff I mentioned earlier. And it apparently also has sake in it, which I actually think the chicken soup from the last video also had, but I'm not 100% sure. So if that wasn't the case, then this is going to be our first taste of sake in ramen on this channel. Let's get this cooked. All right, here are the noodles after they've cooked, but as you can see I haven't added the yuzu packet yet because I'm a little curious to try this on its own and see what it's like. This is recommended as a garnish, so you add this to your taste. I've only had yuzu once before in the Itsuki Yuzu Shio ramen that I reviewed a few videos back, and I like it well enough. So I'm probably just going to pour this whole thing in, but I need to know what this is like first. Just a little taste of the broth. That is interesting. All right, so adding this in essentially turns this into a yuzu shoyu. Give it a quick sniff first. Ooh, it's got a very tart citrus smell to it. So this is the final assembled product. You can see little pieces of the yuzu garnish on top here. This is dried. Looks like it might add a little crunch to it. Let's dive in and see. Oh, before I forget, Marutai's recommended additional toppings for this are just bean sprouts, green onion, and or egg. I'm sure some roasted chicken or pork would also be lovely in here as well, but that's what the packaging says would go best with these flavors. All right, let's try this. That is a pretty neat flavor, I have to say. Let's get the two quick things out of the way. This is not spicy, so 0 out of 10 on the spiciness scale. And the noodle quality, as you are probably not surprised to hear, if you've been following along with these videos so far, is a perfect 10 out of 10. Once again, I really love these noodles. These are like the best ramen noodles I've had on this channel. Really, every single time they come out great. They've got a perfect medium thickness, a great chewiness. They go with this broth very well, and I can't say enough good things about them. They're excellent. But let's talk about the overall flavor of this broth, because it's very interesting. I tasted it first without the yuzu garnish, and it's really tasty. It's an incredibly tasty soy sauce based broth. It's nice and light. It's got, of course, the expected salt and umami that you get with normal soy sauce broth, but there's also a little bit of smokiness from what I believe is the bonito, a little bit of sweetness from what I believe is the sake. It really reminded me flavor-wise, quality-wise, of the broth from the Marutai Gold soy sauce soup and the Nissin Rao soy sauce soup. This is comparable to both of those, which I gave them really great scores. And so before I even threw the garnish in here, this was already an excellent soy sauce broth. But adding in the yuzu really makes for an interesting and, in my opinion, wonderful change. Now, I know some people don't like yuzu, and that's fine. You are allowed to not like things. Personally, it's got a very tart, slightly bitter flavor to it, to my taste buds, somewhere between a lemon and a grapefruit. But what's really cool about this is the extra layer of flavor that it's adding to this already delicious broth. I think it just hits my taste buds in a way that's very unlike anything I've ever eaten before. It is citrusy, so if you don't like citrus, you probably want to stay away from at least the garnish packet. And I'd say on its own, you probably have a dynamite soy sauce broth. But with the garnish, it really takes it to a different level, and I think this whole bowl of noodles works really, really well. It's hearty, salty, tart, umami, delicious. Just because I think the yuzu garnish might be a little off-putting for some, and also because, once again, no green onions, no sesame seeds. The only additional texture in this is the little bit of crunch from this dried yuzu. I'm not going to give this a perfect score, but I am going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. This is really a spectacular soy sauce broth, and I love it. I'm finding it really funny how Marutai is known for their tonkatsu varieties above all, and yet we've only gotten one tonkatsu flavor reviewed so far. But I'm not upset at this. This is a delicious bowl of noodles, and I think the broth is something truly unique, at least to my Western palate, and I'm going to be very happy to devour the rest of this as soon as the camera turns off. If you like all the flavors I described in here, this is a no-brainer. You should try this. It does need a little bit of sprucing up. I think green onions and sesame seeds in here would be a very welcome addition, but this is still a great bowl of noodles and is highly recommended. So with that, I'm going to go finish this. I hope you'll like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you on the next step of this noodle journey.